Hey, welcome to 2022. Today we're going to be answering some of your questions, and so let's get into it, because this is like the little window I have where it's actually decent outside, and then the temperatures just drop back down to the 20s. So it's like 50 right now, so I'm gonna, whoa. All right, so I'm gonna jump right in and let's start answering some questions. So first question is gonna come from Testudo Jonio, and he asks, is it okay to soak tortoises that are hibernating in my garage to prevent them from dehydrating? If your tortoises are already down, if they're brumating, if they're hibernating, the best thing is just to not mess with them. You don't want to interrupt that cycle. Hopefully before they went down, they were well hydrated. If they're actually truly down, their systems have shut down and they really don't need any actual extra water during this period. If it does get warm enough and they can move around, you can provide, a small dish of water. But I wouldn't disturb them during this period because it's actually a pretty delicate process. Dude, it's so cold. 1112 Kinzu asks, what is the most painful thing that has ever happened to me? Aside from sitting out here in the cold doing this, I mean, when I was like 14, I stepped on a glass bottle when I was out trying to catch baby turtles, and I almost cut my big toe completely off, and I had to have it all sewn back together, like kind of in a hurry. So when I went to the hospital, they had to just immediately just start sewing things back and fixing it, and that was not fun. I remember they didn't like administer any kind of local anesthetic or anything. They just started stitching my toe back up and my foot back up, and the guy next to me was actually passing a kidney stone, so we were both kind of like screaming and moaning. And I remember when I left and I had to walk back through the emergency room, everybody in there looked terrified because all they heard was all this screaming and yelling. So that was probably the most painful. Loki and Brewster, any herping goals for 2022? Places, species, etc. As far as places go, I really want this year to go do the Apalachicola National Forest. That's like well known for Gulf Coast box turtles, all kinds of snakes and lizards. I would like to get with my buddy Dirk Stevenson, maybe do some stuff with indigos in the winter. And then he also does work with like glass lizards, and I think glass lizards are fascinating. So yeah, I'd like to really expand upon what I'm already doing, but maybe include different types of herps. All right, Turtle Keeping with Drew and Lou asks, what is my opinion on working with wild-caught and long-term captive turtles in captivity? I've said this before, probably a lot on the channel, that if you have the chance to go captive bred, I 100% would always recommend that. I mean, there's rarely an instance where you really need a wild-caught turtle. I know a lot of people will go for wild-caught or long-term captives because they're trying to fast forward to the breeding age. And I mean, if you're equipped to do that, a wild-caught turtle is always going to have unknown issues. You're not going to know what happened with that turtle in the wild or what it was exposed to before you got it. So wild-caught is always like bottom of the list. You definitely don't want to go around like just keeping random wild-caughts. I mean, and then long-term captive, if you know the person that's kept it and how long they've had it, you have to do a little bit of investigating. It's a little bit of a leap of faith to trust, the person selling you something. You have to remember, people that are selling stuff are in the business of selling stuff, not necessarily caring for the animals. I mean, I have a lot of animals that I have that originated as wild caught or originated as long-term captives, and they're wonderful animals. Now they're a bit more work. They've been hit or miss. All of my captive bred animals have always done, way better. So, hope that's a good answer. Go captive bred if you can. Codes the drones. Do loggerheads do well in paludariums? I don't know what a paludarium is. I've heard of that. I know it's trendy. I know people are doing stuff in paludariums. I don't know about loggerheads and paludariums. If it has flowing water and they can't climb out, then they probably will do well. Loggerheads are really, adaptable and durable. All right, Rich Cine. Dude, I don't know your name. I'm always blowing it. Have I found southern painted turtles are difficult to overwinter in North Georgia? No, mine are doing just fine. Right now they're in a tub with a really soft muck bottom, and they're just buried into that. I do check on them periodically, just kind of give a look, make sure they're okay. I don't pick anything up that's overwintering. I watch for things to bask, I look for heads to be up, or I just check to see, is there any movement. But I'm far enough south, I think I'm okay. I wouldn't really try to keep them in somewhere like, the northern extent of like a eastern painted or western painted range, because they just don't normally range at that latitude. So Yeah, but I think in Georgia and further south, I think you're fine. The Turtle Ranch. Going to Florida for a week. Which place should I absolutely visit as a huge turtle fan? Dude, if you're going to Florida and you want to see some turtles, I say you got to go big. You got to go to the springs. Go to Ichituckney. Go to the, the Central Florida Springs, Silver Springs, the Silver River, Crystal River. There's also a bunch of them in the Panhandle. There's a lot of places you can go. And if you go in the winter, if you're down to try this, if it's like it is now, 49, 50 degrees, it's chilly, right? Well, that water is 74 degrees, give or take. So it's warmer than the air. So when you get in, it actually feels like a bathtub. Now in the summer, when it's 90 degrees, that 70-degree water feels like ice. So right now is actually kind of the more fun time to see the turtles, and a lot of turtles actually move into the springs in the winter. So it's actually kind of the best time to see them. But you're gonna get the most kind of different species if you go to the springs. That's the best. Real_Cade asks, when is my next trip to Florida? Dude, I never even know. It's my Florida trips, because Florida's so close, they're always kind of just random. I just say like, yeah, I'm going to Florida. So that's usually just up to when I have like a free 2 or 3 days and I can just jet down there. So I was hoping to go in February. It'll just kind of depend on work and everything. I have kind of a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, we'll just see. But I like going to Florida. I was born there. And Jamie Andrea Garzo asks, what are a couple of my goals and plans for 2022? Turtles, business, personal, and whatever. So I have to look again. For turtles, just to take care and enjoy the turtles that I have, watch the young ones grow up, and the big ones, just to keep them happy and keep doing some education and do that. And then keep doing the alligator snapping turtle surveys that I'm a part of through my buddy Dirk Stevenson and U.S. Fish and Wildlife. That's actually a big project, because that's going to go on through the rest of the year. And one of the things I've got to do for that is actually get a new vehicle with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. So lately I've been busting my butt trying to save up money to be able to either pay off my car that I have now or sell my car and get this vehicle with four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, so that I can be able to access the areas where these turtles live. And I'm gonna be making a short film for U.S. Fish and Wildlife when we complete the survey, and that's really gonna be fun. That's probably, singularly for 2022, the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is just working on this film and talking about the turtles, talking about the habitat, talking about how inaccessible some places are and how that actually protects the turtles, and just how primordial it is back in there. It's amazing. And I'm looking forward to completing that and being able to share that with everybody. So that's gonna be fun. Personal, keep focusing on making things better here. Maybe traveling more. I want to expand the channel. As much as I like sharing turtles and tortoises every single week, I have a lot of other interests and a lot of other animals that I like. So I'd like to maybe start off by just kind of expanding into different other reptiles and amphibians, doing that through the field herping and maybe visiting other people's collections, and just kind of making you guys, more inclusive into my weird little world. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope everybody's well. Peace.